So right in front of me, I have about $500,000 worth of credit card limits combined across all these cards, which has allowed me to generate over 8 figures online over the years. From American Express, Chase cards, Bank of America cards. I have like over 4 Bank of America cards right here, Carrot card, local credit union cards, a lot of Chase cards since I have a deep relationship with Chase, Bank of America. It takes time to nurture. So $500,000 of 0% interest cards, 0% anywhere from 6, 12 to 18 months, which you can leverage to invest into businesses. Now, if you use this to buy stupid liabilities like a new Gucci purse, multiple vacations, and things that bring you no ROI, then yes, debt is not for you because you make stupid decisions. Debt is only good if you leverage it the right way. If you think like a true businessman, like a true entrepreneur, and you take debt and you leverage it the right way, you can take that debt and multiply it 2, 3, 4, 5, 10x the amount of limits you have to make that money back and then pay off the credit limits. The United States of America was built on what? Is built on debt. People take loans out to fund businesses. People take loans out to get a house because who can afford a $500,000 house? They want to afford. Using credit card, it's an easy way that any of you guys can leverage to invest into a business, because whether you're starting out a business or you're seasoned, the fastest way is to use credit cards. If you have a job and you're not making enough income, how do you increase your income? You can use credit, but use the credit the right way. There's ways you can take these credit cards and you can liquidate them into cash and then take the cash and invest into said different businesses, whatever type of business that you're in, as long as they're reasonably sound, logical businesses that you have done your due diligence in, you can make a lot of money. The American Express cards, for example, are charge cards, meaning you have to pay the entire balance within 30 days, whatever balance you accrue. And the limit, there's no limit assigned to you, but there's a limit in the back. So depending on how much you use, let's say you get a card and you use $5,000, you have to pay the $5,000 off within 30 days. If you use $5,000 and you pay it off within a week, and you use it again, and you pay it off, if you use it again, if you use it multiple times, the company's going to look in the back end and they're going to say, oh, this guy is using a card and paying it off relatively fast. They'll increase your limits very, very fast. That's why it's a charge card. It has to be paid within 30 days. You'll see you're using it a lot, they'll increase your limit pretty fast. If you see you're not using it as much or you're paying it slow, they'll reduce your limit. So there's no limits on the dashboard, but there's a limit in the back. That's what American Express. Most of these other ones are going to be actually credit cards. And the limits on these other credit cards are, the ones I have at least, are anywhere from $10,000 to $50,000. I have relationship managers that I work with. So another hack for you guys is to go to banks and open up business checking accounts and put like $100 in a business checking account just to start the relationship. Okay? You want to do it on a business side. You want to have a personal, but you do it on a business side. Because business side is where you get the bigger limits. Personal side, for liability reasons, you do not want to open up a lot. You can have some, obviously, hey, keep your personal relationship there too, but in terms of getting credit, try to get as much business credit as possible, because also from liability and risk perspective, it's detached from your personal credit. So all of these, 95% of these are business credit cards that I've used and leveraged. This has allowed me to travel the world, make millions of dollars online, and invest into things that you guys can use. The school system will never teach you how to do this properly. They won't teach you how the credit system works and how to use debt the right way. You look at the most successful people in the world, they use debt to finance businesses and get a return, and they pay off the debt. Most debts, if you take debt out, majority of time, the debt is not paid right away. It's not due right away. So the debt is not due right away. Majority of the time, you can make minimum payments on a balance. Typically, every credit card, 1% of the outstanding revolving balance is due every single month. That's the minimum payment typically, right? Let's say you have a $50,000 credit card, 1% of that is going to be $500. $5,000 is going to be $50. It's not that much, right? You also don't want to take on more debt that you can afford. If you don't have enough income to support the paying off the debt, you should not be taking out, racking up credit card debt and taking out a lot of loans. So make sure you have sufficient income to at least make the minimum payments every month, but make sure you make the payments and you pay it off in the interest-free period, 6, 12, 18 months. In every state in the United States, you're able to find credit cards that you can get in that state. Chase, for example, is nationwide. Bank of America is nationwide. So it doesn't matter which state you live in. Some states are very localized or regionalized. That means you can only get credit if a loan or a credit card if you live in the specific states or region. Some are very state specific. Only in that state they have banks. You only open up cards in that state. So you guys need to learn this. I've mastered credit. That's why I have over $500,000 worth of credit, and I've used and leveraged to invest in different businesses. So don't go out and spend money or using the credit cards on stupid liabilities, which is a majority of the US population, which is what they do. They get credit cards, thinking they don't have to pay it back. They get a lot of debt they can't afford. And then now they're making payments, principal plus the interest, and their entire paycheck is gone, income is gone because they did not think about the liability. Use it to build assets the right way. And you could say, hey, well, what if it's a bad asset? That's why you have to do your due diligence and to make sure that whatever you're investing into is going to give you cash flows back in a certain period of time so you can pay off the credits that you have on these cards that you took out, okay? If you do it right way, using the bank's money, you can do a lot of amazing things. You do not need your own money to do it. You should keep your cash in the bank and use debt to pay off things and invest into things. And if you use it the right way, it will catapult you into a new level of income. If you look at some of the most successful people in the world, they use debt a lot. They leverage debt a lot to get their hands on assets. And then assets have cash flow and they pay off the debts and also make profits for them too. But you can do it too. The school system is not designed to teach you this stuff. Like, I'm here to teach you guys this stuff. I'm teaching you the hacks, life hacks that you actually need to succeed in this life. So without this knowledge, you would have no clue how debt really works and how we can make it work for you. So guys, for you to get this much credit, you have to start small. If you are just starting out with your credit journey, you're going to have something called a very thin file, meaning that you don't have a lot of credit history. So you will not get large lines of credits. They're not going to offer it to you, but you have almost no history. You have to build relationships over time, okay? With these banks, like Chase, for example, I have 15 years of history. But at some point, I only had 6 months of history, 2 months of history. I started off just like you guys. So once you start building history with them, you can go back and ask for more and more things. You have to have, the key ingredients to have this, you need to have good personal credit. Your personal credit needs to be on point and super clean. So make sure you keep your personal credit super clean at all times, meaning you try to keep your utilization below 30%. And then to get business credit, you need to have an LLC or S Corp to get access to the business credit cards. Banks will only lend high amounts of credit limits to businesses. They can't give that on personal. On the personal side, the largest credit limits you're going to get typically are going to be up to $25,000. And that typically you're going to have a decent amount of credit history and relationship with the bank. They cannot give you $25,000 off the bat. You have to have some good history plus good revenue. But you can also come up with revenue numbers because when you fill out an application, a lot of times the banks are just trusting the numbers that you're putting in. So there's little loopholes and hacks you can do, right? If you stay under $25,000, they won't ask for documentation. On the business side, if you stay under $50,000, they won't ask for documentation. If you start going above $50,000, they start to ask for documentation like tax returns and W-2 and bank statements. Every bank is different. They have their own requirements. I have relationships with a lot of different banks that I've built over the years. And I've nurtured those relationships. I maintain those relationships. So over time, what happens is when you build a relationship with anyone, right, they start to trust you more. The bank wants to lend you more money as a result of that. So that's the thing you have to watch out for is like, what can I do to build a relationship with a bank or a lender? And that starts off, like I previously mentioned, is open up a business checking account and put like $100 in there at the minimum. You know, obviously sometimes the banks will have free checking, business checking. Other times business might have like a fee-based checking. But these are little things you can use. Like if you're not producing a lot of cash from your job, it's to use debt to finance and fund your business or your aspirations It's just you have to have your ducks lined up, meaning that it's a debt you're taking out in the right business, and the business that you're putting money into, whatever it is enough. For example, if you're putting money into a real estate property and you're doing a fix and flips, so you have an idea, you're like, well, it's going to take me 2, 3 months, 4 months to fix and flip it, to fix it first, renovate it, and then put it in the market and sell it. That time, I don't know. That's your business. You have to figure out what the timeline is, right? So if you're getting debt out, you're like, okay, well, after about 60, 90 days, 120 days, I'm gonna start getting cash from this. That's like a typical range. With e-commerce, if I'm selling products, I'm testing different products, I know I can start cash flowing relatively pretty fast because I know a timeline from launching a product and running ads, I can start making money. So you have to just look at the ROI, the inputs and the outputs of everything you do, the inputs and the outputs. So from the time the business you're trying to start to the point you put money in, to the point of time is cash flowing. Typically, it's not right away, you know? So during that time, you're not cash flowing, you're gonna be making minimum payments on that line of credit or the credit card or whatever. How do I know this? Because I spend time in my computer like this, just for weeks, months, years, learning about this stuff, trying and testing things. And also, I go tap on the shoulders of people around me who I know are better at this than me, and I ask them, would I have to pay them for information? Or I just provide value to them and they provide me value back. I help them with something and they help me with this thing. You have to think about these things. You know, these things have to go through your head. Like, how can I leverage my network and build relationships? And the banks are like that too. The banks work in relationships too. They give you a small credit card, you use it, you pay it off, you use it, pay it off, they give you higher and higher limits. So if you have credit and you have super high utilization, above 30% is like the maximum you should have, but 60, 70%, what happens? Your credit score goes down and the bank's like, well, this person is highly utilized. You're going to be more risky in terms of for them to lend money to. So there's things you have to think about. But I think a good way would be to, if you don't have any credit at all, is just maybe probably get some personal credit cards, build some history on the personal credit side, but keep your utilization low on the personal side, because when you apply for business credit, they look at your personal score. But once you get approved for business, the business credit card does not report on your personal credit profile. It's separate. So you can have, let's say, 50 business credit cards on this side, and instead of all maxed out. And when you go apply for a new credit card, they can't see all your credit cards on this side or maxed out. The business is separate. That's why I said, like, getting an LLC S corp set up is super important for a business credit side. And plus, you can write off a lot of things. Hopefully, that gives you guys an idea of how you can potentially leverage credit to make a lot of money. I'll probably go deeper into this in some other videos, but if you're interested, hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave a comment below, and I'll be happy to answer any questions I can. And this also is going to be part of the community I'm building called Wealth Equity Club, where we teach people a dozen different ways how to make money online, leverage credit, start a company, sell their company, and like everything in between. What I want in Wealth Equity Club is to teach people the skills and knowledge that they should have taught in school, but they did not, right? My success triangle: mindset, health, and wealth. How to make money online, how to have proper mindset, how to have proper health. All these things that work together. That's why I'm building inside the Wealth Equity Club. It's going to be maybe 30, 40, 50 bucks a month. Super cheap. Come in. We'll have content, master classes, weekly Q&A, different professors, speakers, different sectors of different businesses that'll help you teach you this stuff. I'm building a waitlist right now. There probably might be a link here below a bit of video with a waitlist for Wealth Equity Club, where we can help you teach this stuff for a cup of coffee a day. It's just super cheap. I'm building an anti-school system, an anti-university system, where we teach people at a low cost how to know about these things I'm talking about, how to make money, how to leverage debt, how to use credit properly, how to hack the world around you to get what you want so you become successful. I love you guys. See you guys on the next video.